Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos. Manchester United lose at Anfield by 2-0 against Liverpool. Solskjaer loses his first managerial appearance at Anfield. So Liverpool are now unbeaten in 39 Premier League games. They're unbeaten in 52 Premier League games at Anfield, and they are now sitting 16 points clear of Man City. They are 19 points in front of Leicester, with still a game in hand, and Liverpool are on course to win their first ever Premier League title, so they're going to end their 30-year drought. Analysing the game, I've got to say, I expected Manchester United to lose today against Liverpool. I thought the first 10 minutes, we was quite good. I thought we was quite dominant in the first 10 minutes. But obviously, we do concede from a set piece. Virgil van Dijk had scored the first goal for Liverpool. And obviously, it was Brandon Williams that was trying to mark Virgil van Dijk. And I don't really understand that, because in terms of the foot, there's a total comparison, because Brandon Williams is like, what, 5'5" or 5'6", and you've got Virgil van Dijk that's like 6'5", but he'd put Liverpool 1-0 up, and then since then, for the vast majority of the game, Liverpool had currently dominated. They created chances, did Liverpool. Liverpool also in the game had two disallowed goals. The first one was from Roberto Firmino. The goal had actually been disallowed due to the alleged foul on David De Gea from Virgil van Dijk. But I've got to say, Firmino took his goal well. That is debatable, because there's some people saying that should have been allowed, and some people believe it was the right decision. So that's a controversy. And obviously, Georginio Wijnaldum had a goal disallowed. I think that was actually the correct decision, because it was currently offside. Obviously, Sadio Mane had a couple of chances in the game. I thought he did well for Liverpool. David De Gea had to make a world-class save towards the back end of the first half. He had a few other chances and that. But there was some aspects of the game where, we did quite well. I don't think we registered a single shot on target for the first 40 minutes of the game. I think, the two best chances that we had was from Andreas Pereira. He had one that was saved by Ellington from long range. He also missed a sitter towards the back end of the first half, and I thought Pereira did quite well, but I think, some of his decisions was quite wrong, so Pereira wasn't too bad in the game. So he wasn't too bad in the game, Andreas Pereira. Of course, Martial had missed a sitter in the second half. Good build-up play, but the finish, just wasn't there. But we didn't really create much in the game, to be quite honest with you. Liverpool, of course, had two fantastic chances also in the second half. Jordan Henson had hit the post. Also, Mohamed Salah had missed City, and I don't think Salah was too good in the game. And like I've said, he hasn't performed to the standards as we expected from him this season. But he should have scored that goal. I think Firmino had some chances in the game. And obviously, Liverpool's second goal came in like the 92nd minute of stoppage time, just before the end of the game. And it actually, was Alisson that had got the assist. It was a throw out, landed to Salah. Salah ran with the ball. Daniel James was with him, but Salah had calmly finished it. And, that was currently 2-0, and that was game over. But now I'm going to say, I think the players that played well for Man United, and I think, the players that were disappointing for us, I think Wan-Bissaka, was quite good. I don't think he was too bad. I think, he made some vital interceptions in the game. So I don't think he was too bad. I thought Harry Maguire was quite poor. Obviously, today it was Harry Maguire's first game as captain for Man United. I don't think Lindelof did too bad. I thought Luke Shaw was actually quite decent. Luke Shaw was playing at left back. Brandon Williams was playing at left wing. I don't think Brandon Williams also did too bad. Like I said, Pereira, had some decent spells in the game. I don't think Fred was too bad either. I think in an attacking intent, I don't think he was too good, but I thought defensively, Fred was quite good. My overarching view on the Man Matic, I think defensively again, Matic was really, really good actually. I don't think Matic, had a bad game for us. I think Daniel James was very quiet in the game. We couldn't really give Daniel James enough service. We wasn't really in Liverpool's box. for long periods of that game. We were struggling to get in their box. Martial, I don't think he got enough service, but he looked actually dangerous when he did have the current ball. So I thought there's some actually players that did quite well for us. But for the vast majority of that game, we couldn't really get out of our own half because Liverpool were applying so much pressure on us. We were basically struggling to get out of our own half. I've got to say, I think the players that played well for Liverpool, I thought Trent Alexander had a good game for them. Wasn't the best player on the pitch. I thought he showed a good attacking intent, defensively good. I just thought his crossing let him down. Virgil van Dijk did well defensively for Liverpool. I thought Andrew Robertson had a pretty decent game. Georgina Wijnaldum was quite good for them. I think Salaway was quite poor. I thought Firmino and Mane did well because, like I said, they had some decent opportunities in the game. And all that, I thought Henderson was quite good for Liverpool. Like I said, he hit the crossbar in the second half. So I've got to say, the vast majority of Liverpool's players did really, really well in the game. But obviously now, Liverpool are going to win the league. And, we haven't beaten Liverpool at Anfield since 2016. But like I said, I expected us to lose the game. To be fair, I thought this current game was totally comparison to the game at Anfield last season, because last season Liverpool beat us 3-1 at Anfield. Obviously it was goals from Mane and Shaqiri had scored 2, but in that particular game Liverpool had around 36 shots in that game. Obviously, compared to our 5, and obviously reflects on that game last season, that had ended Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Jose Mourinho's 2.5-year tenure at Manchester United. But you've got to say now, Liverpool are definitely the best team in England. Probably got to say they are one of the best teams in the world at the moment, because Liverpool have now gone nearly 3 years without losing at Anfield. And Solskjaer was coming out with some comments, building up to the game and that, and he insisted that Liverpool have not yet matched Sir Alex Ferguson's side. So what he means in that aspect is that he's saying that Liverpool's current team at the moment, at this day and age, is nowhere near on the level as what team we had under Alex Ferguson. So he says if Liverpool can win if Liverpool can win several titles and that, then they will be one of the greatest teams in the division and that. And we are all aware, that Man United have got injuries, but, that's not excusable. Some people will say if we'd have had Rashford on that pitch today, maybe we would have got something. Maybe if we'd had Pogba and McTominay in that game today, maybe we would have got something. But that is not excusable, because Liverpool themselves have had injuries. And, just think, if Liverpool hadn't have had any injuries this season, just think, where they would have been. Because obviously Fabinho's just come back from injury from then. Matic has just come back from injury. They've still got Lovren, Milner and Naby Keita out. But, obviously Chamberlain just come back for them. Who else has just come back for them? Shaqiri's just come back for them. So Liverpool have also had a lot of injuries. But it's not excusable. But like I said in my preview and that, I think, the comparison, between Man United and Liverpool at this present time is that, Liverpool have got a good team, their players are a unit, they back the manager, and, with us, we've got some good players in our team, like I said, but we just don't play as a unit, and of course, we overpay for players as Liverpool don't. Prime example, we paid £80 million for Harry Maguire, we paid £50 million for Fred. We paid £89 million for Paul Pogba, £40 million for Nemanja Matic. And like I said, it's not always about spending big and getting them Galactico players and that. But now I actually do believe, and I hate to say this, but I'm being very, very honest. I think, Liverpool can now, within years to come, start to replicate, what we did in the 90s and the 2000s under Alex Ferguson, because we was a fantastic team under the Alex Ferguson era. I know Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years at Manchester United when we recommended him in from Aberdeen back in 1984. He didn't settle in straight away. But look what he went and accomplished after 4 years of not winning anything, because we won like 13 titles in 21 years with Alex Ferguson. But Ferguson endured 26, 27 years at Man United. Don't forget, we won the vast majority of our silverware under him and that. But like I said, I've got to credit Liverpool. they've got a great manager in Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp, of course, has won 3 major honours so far as Liverpool manager. The most recent trophy they won was the FIFA Club World Cup. They won the Super Cup earlier on in the season, and they won the Champions League at the end of last season. Obviously, when they win the Premier League this season, that will be, Jurgen Klopp's 4th major honour as Liverpool manager. I think when he was at Borussia Dortmund, he won a couple of titles with Borussia Dortmund. But you've got to say, Jurgen Klopp is a really, really good manager. And I think today, was his 3rd win against Manchester United, since he took over at Liverpool. Because I think today, this was the 11th game he has faced Manchester United as manager. And Jurgen Klopp has got a contract with Liverpool until 2024 and that. But I've got to say, I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the right manager for Manchester United. Now, he's given his more overarching view on today's game. He's actually taken some positives from the game. There's quite a lot of Man United fans that are infuriated, with a mistake that led to Liverpool's goal and that. And, this is what, people believe from their own perceptions. Solskjaer's also said we are considering now making short-term deals, reflecting on the injury to Marcus Rashford, because Marcus Rashford is out with a back injury now. There's reports coming out saying that Rashford could be out for up to 6 weeks with this back injury. With this back injury, and like I said, he's a big miss, is Marcus Rashford, because, he has been in scintillating form this season for Man United. He scored 63 senior goals, since he broke into the senior squad back in 2016. And, he's done really, really well for us. And, Rashford was injured early on this season. I think he also was injured towards the back end of last season. So he's going to be a big miss for us. And Rashford's going to miss the game against Burnley. He's going to miss the game in the second leg against Man City. So he's going to miss, imperative games that are coming up for Man United. But you've got to say he's been one of our best players this season, and he's only the age of 22, so he's going to be out for 6 weeks and that. But I'm very, very disappointed about that, to be honest with you. Obviously, the good news is now, Man United have got Eric Bailly back, because he was out with an injury, since pre-season. He's been playing for the under-23s. Obviously, Fosu Mensah is also back into action. Diego Dalot's back. He came on in the game today. Obviously, Pogba and McTominay, I think, are out until the end of this month or earlier February. So you can say that they are big miss. So reflect on the amount of injuries we've had this season. Solskjaer's had to make a lot of alterations in the squad. But some people believe in their own perceptions. The main factor reason why we've been inconsistent this season is reflecting on the injuries we've had. Also, we've got a lot of young players in the squad that are developing and trying to improve. And I think there's a lot of young players at Manchester United, that will become a success. And Mason Greenwood, did come on today. I think Solskjaer, should have started Mason Greenwood today, obviously, due to the absentee of Marcus Rashford. I think Mason Greenwood should have started on the right, because Martial does operate in that number 9 role. But he did come on in the game, did Mason Greenwood. And like I've said, Mason Greenwood has been in scintillating form this season. He scored like 9 goals in 20-odd first team appearances. So I think Solskjaer needs to play him more on a regular basis. And I think he needs to start him more from the start, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Brandon Williams is now, of course, our first choice left back. I've got to say he's a much better solution than Luke Shaw. Tuan Zebe, of course, is still out with injury at the moment. I don't know when he's going to be back. But, he's been out with injury for quite a while. But I think in the games he's played in this season, he's done quite well for us. Rojo, of course, is still out with injury. I think Chong, he's one of the young upcoming players that Man United need to consider loaning out. Because as you all know, I've got a lot of element of concerns about Chong. Angel Gomez, I don't think he's getting enough opportunities. So I did say, didn't I, when Solskjaer going to be convinced to give Angel Gomez these opportunities. I think in the couple of games prior to this one today, Angel Gomez had made a couple of first team appearances, but that's one of the aspects of me, that does credit Solskjaer. He's got a lot of trustworthy in his young players, but he's not the long-term solution for Manchester United. Solskjaer is now been at Manchester United for around 13 months. He's been permanent manager for around 10 months now, and obviously, analysing the vast majority of that 10-month period, he has really enjoyed a difficult time. Totally comparison to the time when we recommended Solskjaer in as the interim manager, because I've got to be honest, when he was the interim manager, he did really, really well, did Solskjaer. The results were good, the performances were good, he got the best out of these group of players, and he exceeded expectations, and he won his first 8 games. We won 10 games out of 13 in the Premier League, and we won 14 games out of 19 in all competitions. So we did really, really well. So reflecting on how he did it as an interim manager, he'd got the job permanently back in March last year, and he did sign a 3-year contract and worth around £7.5 million a year, and now he's got around 2.5 years left on his deal. But Solskjaer has been under intense pressure for the vast majority of this season due to our inconsistency. And Solskjaer recently, give us an update on our top 4 ambitions, and he thinks the only way Man United are going to get that top 4 this season is if we find that consistency, basically. Because, if we'd have beaten Liverpool today, we would have only been 2 points behind top 4, because Chelsea lost yesterday to Newcastle by 1-0. I won't fully disregard the top 4. I still believe we are in that race for that top 4, and I did say that's one of Man United's priorities. Also, one of our priorities is to get some silverware on the board. So it would be good if we could win the Europa League. Obviously, that's another route to Champions League football. Also, it would be good if we could win the FA Cup, because we haven't won the FA Cup since 2015. But we have lacked silverware in the last 6 or 7 years, don't forget. So I think, for Solskjaer to be given another season at Manchester United, we need to get some silverware on the board, and we need to get that top 4. If we don't meet these expectations, I think it's more than likely that Solskjaer will be gone at the end of the season. But this is Solskjaer's first full season as Manchester United manager. And I do like Solskjaer a lot, like I said, because he's a club legend. And I think in that aspect, with him being a club legend, I think our board are soft in our stance. Because I think disregarding Solskjaer being a club legend, I think he would have been sacked by now. But Solskjaer enjoyed 11 great years at Manchester United as a player. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance, but my own perception is, I think as a manager, he's totally a comparison, because he hasn't got the pedigree behind him in terms of management and that, don't forget. But, like I said, not all of the blame stems from Mulligan and Solskjaer. I think everyone else is accountable as well. I think, the vast majority of our blame stems from the board, reflecting on our poor recruitment, and also you can take into account the poor selection of managers. I think also Ed Woodward is to blame. He replicates the board. I think, the Glazers need to go. A lot of United fans have been protesting Ed Woodward and the Glazers. I think we also need to get rid of our coaching staff. And I think, these more players that need to leave Manchester United, definitely. There's more players that need to go. I think we need to get rid of around probably 5 or 6 more players this year. Obviously, Ashley Young has joined Inter Milan, so he's the first player to leave Man United in 2020. But I feel as though that the players that I do need to leave, I think Phil Jones needs to leave the football club, because he's one of the problematic players. He's been a long servant here. I think we also need to get rid of Marcus Rojo. I think we also need to get rid of Nemanja Matic. He's one of the problematic players. He doesn't complement our midfield, but I thought it was okay today. I think we also need to get rid of Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard didn't obviously play today, and I did say now he's going to be dropped more regular as Jesse Lingard, reflecting on his bad run performances. He has been too inconsistent this season, Jesse Lingard, and reflecting on his status and the number of years he's been at the football club, he should be putting much more better performances out, should Jesse Lingard. So we need to move him on. Some people are saying we need to move Luke Shaw, and Luke Shaw wasn't too bad today, but I think Luke Shaw is too injury prone, because he's just recovered from a hamstring injury. I think Luke Shaw was also ill, so more players definitely need to leave Manchester United. I know a lot of players have left anyway overall since Solskjaer got recommended in. I think we got rid of a lot of players last summer, to be fair. We got rid of a lot of players. we got rid of a lot of players and all of that. But yeah, so we need to see a variety of changes at the football club. Definitely, we need to see a variety of changes. But like I said, our board and Ed Woodward are determined to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in this January transfer window. They're also determined to back him in the summer because, Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team, because analysing the vast majority of this team, it isn't, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. Actually, the vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's, because Jose Mourinho recommended 11 players into the football club. Now Solskjaer is still inheriting the vast majority of them. There's still players even the Van Gaal era, there's still might have even the David Moyes era. And, there's still quite a few, there's still like 2 or 3 players here from the Alex Ferguson era, so you can't take that into account. But this year, we have got to recruit the right calibre players to Manchester United that can elevate us forward and get us back, to being a competitively level football club. And get us back, up there challenging for major honours and that. And, the question is, are Man United ever going to win the Premier League again? We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. That's obviously 7 years ago now. So the last time we won it, it came in Alex Ferguson's last season. But you can say in that particular season, Robin van Persie had won us the league, reflect on the amount of goals he had scored. But, Solskjaer insists, it's not going to take Man United another 30 years to win another Premier League title, like it has done with Liverpool. But, we're not going to win the league for several years. I don't even think we're going to mount any kind of title challenge up for several years. Like I've said, I think in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations is going to be that top 4, definitely. I did say at the start of this season that our expectations this season will be to finish in that top 4. I also have got the same perception on going on into next season. Our expectations will be to finish in that top 4. But, I did say at the start of this season that, I expect us to enjoy a better season this season than what we saw last season, because last season was very, very poor, because last season we finished 6th. That, by the way, that's not the lowest we finished in the Premier League era. The lowest we finished in the Premier League era was back under David Moyes, because we finished 7th under the David Moyes era and that. But, yeah. And I just think, Man United need to recommend Mauricio Pochettino in. And, as you've seen on my recent videos, I've been talking a lot about Mauricio Pochettino. I think Man United do definitely need to get him in. If we are to get Mauricio Pochettino in, it's probably imminent that we'll get him in at the end of the season rather than this present time. Because it did say a couple of days ago, like he updated you, it did say that Mauricio Pochettino has indicated where his next managerial job will be, and he will either be in England or Spain, so maybe he could remain in England. It did say not too long ago that Pochettino has held secret negotiations with Man United over replacing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United, and it did say, if he is to be recommended in, he doesn't want Ed Woodward as our director of football. I think he wants to recommend the director of football in. I think he would want to recommend Paul Mitchell in. Paul Mitchell, I think at the moment, is the head of recruitment at RP Leipzig. I think, obviously, he knows Pochettino very, very well, because obviously he worked alongside Pochettino at Tottenham and Southampton, so they do know each other really, really well. So yeah, so obviously, we've been long-term admirers of Pochettino anywhere, and, there's a lot of people now saying that when we did sack Jose Mourinho in December 2018, we should have recommended Mauricio Pochettino in at that, moment in time, even though we would have had to have paid a compensation to recommend Pochettino in, because that's when we was in for him after the sacking Mourinho, he was currently still at Tottenham. But if we recommended Pochettino in now, we wouldn't have to pay anything in compensation. But I think, the main explanations why Solskjaer was our preference is because, Solskjaer knows the club inside out, and that's obviously, totally, in that aspect, it's comparison to Pochettino, because he doesn't know the club as well as Solskjaer. Obviously, Solskjaer was a cheaper solution, we didn't really have to pay that much to mould to recommend him in. So this is the explanations why, we preferred Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I think Pochettino is totally comparison to Solskjaer, and I think Pochettino is a much better manager than Solskjaer. My only element of concern about Pochettino is that he hasn't won out in terms of silverware, but I think prior to that he has done really, really well. He enjoyed a good 5.5 year tenure with Tottenham. Don't forget, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top four when Pochettino was in charge for the vast majority of his tenure. But I think in the last couple of years, Tottenham, became title contenders. But, he did really, really well with Tottenham. I also thought he enjoyed a good short tenure with Southampton when he was there. And obviously before he was at Southampton, he was at Espanyol. So far, Pochettino has managed a total of 3 clubs. Obviously, it did say not too long ago that Barcelona have been in for Pochettino because they'd sacked Ernesto Valverde, but I think Barcelona have recommended the former Real Betis manager in. Obviously, there was speculation about him going to Munich. He was also linked with a managerial role at Real Madrid. But I think if Man United do sack Solskjaer, it's very imminent that Pochettino will be our next manager. And if he is to be recommended in, he will be our 5th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. Definitely in that he will be. And it's been revealed, how much it will cost us, to sack Solskjaer. And, we'll have to pay around £5 million in compensation to get rid of him. So that's like £15 million less than what we paid to get rid of Mourinho. Because I think we paid around £20 million to get rid of Mourinho. We paid around £9 million to get rid of Van Gaal. Was it around £5 or £6 million to get rid of David Moyes? But I think in the long term, it will be worth getting rid of Solskjaer. Obviously, we know there's also been a lot of speculation regarding Massimiliano Allegri. But, we're not really known for the sacking football club. And, despite the fact that we've sacked 3 managers since the Alex Ferguson era, obviously, David Moyes got sacked after 10 months. He enjoyed a really short tenure with the football club. Did David Moyes? The fault for that was Alex Ferguson, obviously, recommending him in. But the main explanation why Ferguson recommended him in is because, they were both Scottish in that, but, David Moyes didn't last. Then, obviously, Van Gaal, he lasted just over a year. He got sacked, despite the fact he won the FA Cup. We recommended Van Gaal in, reflecting on what he did at Bayern Munich before he came to United at that point. And obviously, Mourinho got sacked after he enjoyed a 2.5-year tenure with the club. And, Mourinho's actually enjoyed the longest tenure with the club since the Ferguson era. Mourinho was a fantastic manager back in the day. He's got a good pedigree behind him. He's won around 25 major honours in his career and that, won the Europa League and the League Cup with Man United in his first season. But I just don't think he's at that top level anymore as a manager. That's my own perception. He isn't doing too good with Tottenham, take that into account. But, reflect on the amount of money that Man United have spent over the years on recruiting new players in, because I think we've spent nearly £1 billion on recruiting new players in the last 6 or 7 years. Not only that, we've also got players on big contracts, and I think the wage structure is totally balmy at Man United. You've got Rashford on nearly 300 grand a week. You've got Martial on 200 odd grand a week. You've got Pogba on 290 grand a week. You've got De Gea on 375 grand a week. He's the highest paid goalkeeper in the world. You've got Harry Maguire on 200 odd grand a week. Lingard on 100 grand a week. So we have got players on substantial contracts at the football club, but we are not performing to the standards as we should expect. And we know it's a transition period. It is a transition period, and Solskjaer is hopeful that we can get through this transition period. But we could actually not enjoy a worse year this year than what we saw last year. So it is a total embarrassment, to be fair. But we've just got to make signings in this January transfer window. We definitely need more signings. I think we need around 4 to 5 more signings. We've got to make a couple in this January transfer window. We've got to try and make some signings this summer. That is very, very imperative indeed, definitely. From Liverpool perspective, they probably will try and make signings. I think they'll probably make signings in the summer if they're going to make any signings. Liverpool got Takuma Mino from Red Bull Salzburg for $7.25 million. I think he'll get more into the first team next season. Liverpool could consider getting rid of players as well. But, Liverpool, I think, have been in for Kaya Havertz from Leverkusen. I think they're also in for Tim Werner. So they've still got some players on their agenda with Liverpool. But, you know, definitely they're going to win the Premier League this season. You know, but it's not, like I said, it's not the worst performance Man United have put out this season. I've seen worse performances this season than what I saw today at Anfield. You know, I've got to say, the worst performance I think I've seen this season probably was in the game. One of the worst performances I've seen was the one against Rochdale in the Cup. I think also, you know, the game against Everton last season when we lost 4-0, that was an embarrassing performance. You know, that's probably one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's worst games as Manchester United manager. I also thought any other games, yeah, so there's a few games where we have performed really, really badly, you know, to be fair. I thought it was poor against Southampton earlier on this season, you know, very poor against Newcastle, very poor against Bournemouth when we lost. So we've had a lot of bad games this season. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribing, as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll be back with more live videos tomorrow. See you all again soon.